Dear dancers, dear teachers, I am glad to get the opportunity to talk about my personal dance career, and this thanks to Ballet International, whose administrator is Jean-Pierre Alexandre Pribilois. This video is in English, but soon the Russian version will appear. You probably heard or saw many times my name in the book of history of dance, or you probably heard dance artists talk about my ballet method, about the famous Maestro Cecchetti or just Enrico Cecchetti. Let me start then. I was born in a dressing room of a theater in Rome on the 21st of June, 1850. My young stage debut occurred as an infant in M. Father's arms. Although if my parents wanted for me a career in business or law, I was determined to be a dancer and finally convinced my parents of my great desire and dedication. Trained in the rudiments of ballet by my father, I was sent for further training to Giovanni Lepri training classes who prepared accomplished dancers. I also studied with two more of my father's colleagues, Cesare Copini, who taught at the prestigious La Scala in Milan, and Filippo Taglioni, father of the celebrated ballerina, Marie Taglioni. All of my teachers had been trained by Carlo Blasi. This early training created a background for my method of teaching following the lines of Blasi's own theory. Blasi had codified his teaching methods in the book Traité élémentaire, technique et pratique de l'art de la danse, published in 1820. As a professional dancer, I began touring Europe in my late teens, and at age 20, had M debut on the stage of La Scala in Milan. It was an instant success. Throughout my career, I received excellent reviews, and I was considered the finest male dancer of my time. At the height of my career, I migrated to St. Petersburg. While performing in Russia, I captivated my audiences with brilliant feats of battery, amazing leaps, and multiple pirouettes. I was hired to perform as premier danseur, to be maître de ballet with the Mariinsky Ballet, and to teach at the Imperial Ballet School, 1887 to 1902. So prodigious was my technique and gifts for mime that I created and performed the virtuoso role of the Bluebird and the mime role of Carabosse in the premiere of Petipa's The Sleeping Beauty in 1890. My teaching era. I taught at the Imperial School in St. Petersburg from 1887 to 1902, and from 1902 to 1905 I taught in Poland at the Warsaw State School. Returning to St. Petersburg in 1905, I established a school there. From 1907 to 1909, I taught Anna Pavlova exclusively until dancers from the Mariinsky pleaded with me to open my classes to them again. When Diaghilev wanted his company, the Ballets Russes, to tour, the dancers refused because they would miss their daily classes with me. An astute businessman, Diaghilev hired me for the dual roles of ballet master and mime. I performed many mime roles which were created expressly for me by choreographers of the Ballets Russes. My presence in the Diaghilev Ballets Russes was very important. I was the link between the past and the present, contributing to the birth of modern classical ballet. In addition to me and the dancers, many other artists worked with the Diaghilev Ballets Russes: painters, set and costume designers Bakst, Picasso, Cocteau, and Matisse, composers Debussy, De Falla, Prokofiev, Ravel, and Stravinsky. The Ballets Russes toured through Europe, the United States, South America, and Australia. Tired of touring, I settled in London, England, where I opened a school to which dancers flocked. Considered the technical lodestar of the ballet world, it was said that no one could become a finished ballet dancer without passing through my hands. In 1923, I returned to Italy to retire, but I was invited by Arturo Toscanini to resume my teaching career at La Scala, my lifelong dream. While teaching a class and correcting a dance student, unfortunately, I collapsed due to a heart attack debut and was taken home, where I died the following day, November 13th, 1928, at the age of 78. The causes of my death were that I had returned to Italy in 1925 to direct the ballet school at La Scala, a position I held until my death. My health was declining, exacerbated by the death of my wife, Giuseppina, a year prior in 1927. It is often said in the ballet world that I died in harness, doing exactly what I was most famous for, teaching the next generation of dancers. For the superstitious people, I died on November 13th, a strange coincidence. As you can see, my death was a surprise, a great gift to work at Tuscala but short, and my death felt on me as a thunder. I didn't even realize that my time was set to go. My legacy and tradition, however, has continued thanks to the dance artists who loved working with me. I will always be remembered through my teaching method that I developed, which expanded upon the principles set forth by Carlo Blasis. I learned from the great masters. I assimilated and applied the theories they taught. From my own experiences as a dancer and a teacher, and from my associations with other dancers, artists, and musicians, I continued to learn, sharing my knowledge and wisdom throughout a career which spanned nearly 8 decades. Cyril Beaumont, a world-renowned dance historian and friend of me, said, "What impressed me most about the Cecchetti method of teaching was the way in which each exercise played a definite and planned part in the student's technical development. There is nothing haphazard about the system, nothing which depended on the teacher's mood of the moment. There is a definite plan to daily classes." My method devised by me was recorded and published in 1922 by Cyril Beaumont with the help of Idzikowski. The Manual of Theory and Practice of Classical Theatrical Dancing, Cecchetti Method, is an excellent source of information on technique, stance, positions of arms, feet, legs, hands, body, head, port de bras, adages, etc. Margaret Krask and Friederike Dera de Maroda later collaborated with Cyril Beaumont in recording many allegro enchainments and pirouettes. Having finished the manual on my method, Beaumont decided it would be beneficial to bring together those dancers in London who had studied with me. From this group was founded the Cecchetti Society in 1922. Its earliest members were Cyril Beaumont, Margaret Krask, Friederike, Dera de Maroda, Molly Lake, Jane Forestier, Dame Marie Rambert, and Dame Ninette de Valois. I and my wife were the first president and vice president of the Cecchetti Society. From this society, branches have developed in all parts of the world. I also met and worked with Agrippina Yakovlevna Vaganova, who also contributed to develop her own method. She was very dear to me, as well as many great dancers of the Mariinsky Theater. I am grateful of how life has treated me with a wonderful success. I have the great desire to teach again, be in a studio, watch and work with dancers of the modern era. But life is so difficult to accept and understand, especially for dance artists. When you reach your end term, you feel it, you regret it, you wish to do more and more, but inexorably you have to accept this faith. So you dear dancers, dear teachers, give the best of the very best you can and yourself. Yours faithfully in the art of dance, Maestro Enrico Cecchetti.